What's good on my stock market investor homies? The stock market has made new all-time highs once again. As of last Friday, the stock market has officially become more expensive than Hunter Biden's drug addiction. And that's hard to beat. But just like Hunter Biden, the stock market just keeps getting higher. You think that it's hit a limit. You think that the top is reached. It can't go any higher. With Hunter Biden, we had the first laptop that we found, and we found out that he blew through about 1 kilo of cocaine and 47 hookers in one weekend. You thought that would be hard to beat, but now we found out that just a couple weekends ago, Hunter Biden and 75 hookers did 3 kilos of cocaine, setting the Guinness Book of World Record for the most amount of drugs done over just one weekend. And just like Hunter Biden, last week the stock market did set some records as well, breaking out again, making new all-time highs. And sure, there are a lot of expensive stocks out there. And all jokes aside, it's hard to find good deals in the stock market right now. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about some stocks that are actually trading at a cheap valuation in this expensive market. If you like free money as much as I do, and I know I love free money, I'll pick up a quarter if I see it on the ground. Check out the link in the description for Webull. I have the Webull desktop platform pulled up on the screen. I use it every day. It's a great commission-free broker, and they're offering you guys 2 free stocks valued up to over $2,000 in free money. So after the video, go down in the description and check out that link for Webull. Also, destroy the like button for me. Every like on this video will send your favorite stock up by 1%. We are currently seeing spending by the federal government at record numbers, which has caused a spike in inflation. That inflation scared investors, and we saw the market come off the highs by just a little bit. But then Jerome Powell, the chair of the Fed, came out and he eased those fears. He says that he doesn't believe that he will need to raise interest rates anytime soon. That was the catalyst for this most recent hike in the overall market. But I think the US dollar is in danger of becoming extremely weak. Right now, the US is the gold standard. We use it all around the world. It's the world's currency. But once that US dollar becomes so weak because of all this spending, who are these countries going to be looking to? The number 2 player, the number 2 biggest economy in the world, and that's China. Chinese stocks have been beaten down. They've been crushed. We all saw Jack Ma go into hiding when him and Xi Jinping were at odds, and the Chinese government was cracking down on these big Chinese tech companies because they believed that the Chinese tech companies had too much power. But companies like Alibaba and BIDU are too big to fail, and they have absolutely crashed coming off the highs. Now, I don't necessarily like investing in Chinese stocks for a multitude of reasons. Number one, I think Xi Jinping, I've heard that he's a cousin fucker. Now, we have our Touchdown Trades head global correspondent has an in the Chinese government, and he tells me that Xi Jinping is indeed a cousin fucker, and you can never trust a cousin fucker. Number 2, the Chinese government is they're just bad people, right? I'm not saying that Chinese people are bad people. I'm saying the Chinese government is bad people, and you never, or at least I never, like investing in companies that are dependent on these bad acting governments like the Chinese Communist Party. It's not something that I like investing in, but I can sleep good at night knowing that Alibaba is a company that if they're doing good, the Chinese government likes it. It's a company that is too big to fail. They're not going anywhere, and they're trading off the highs. We can look at the chart here and see that Alibaba was trading up at 320 just a few months ago, and now we're trading down here in the 150s. This is a steal in the 150s. Now, the upside may be a little bit capped here with these Chinese names because that government oversight could cap whatever upside we could see, but there is minimal downside risk in my opinion because of their numbers. Alibaba is a company that has a market cap of around $450 billion on sales last year of $120 billion, giving us a price to sales ratio of under 4. And I think we see continued growth. This is not necessarily a growth play. It's not necessarily a growth investment. I do think we see a little bit more growth over the next few years, but it's just a stable company. It's a behemoth. And if Amazon was trading at these valuations, then investors would be flocking to it. And once investors, the fear of the Chinese government coming and cracking down on these companies subsides, investors will come back. Money will come back to these Chinese names, and I want to be sitting in there waiting before that happens. Another name that I'm currently taking a hard look at, another Chinese stock, BIDU. BIDU, the Google of China, was trading up at highs of 350 just a few months ago. Same thing with BABA. Now we're trading in the 140s. BIDU has crashed every single day for about 2 months, it looks like. This stock was falling off of a cliff. The Chinese government will eventually leave these companies alone. They'll get back to their old ways, and they will keep posting these monster numbers. All right, let's talk about defense stocks. We have all seen what's been going on with Afghanistan. It's a tragedy. I feel for the families of those 13 U.S. soldiers who lost their life, and I believe it's over 150 Afghan citizens lost their life. It's a tragedy. I don't want to get into the politics of it. I think I'm going to do a separate video on the Afghan situation, but I do want to talk about defense stocks because defense contractors are going to be in the spotlight during all of this. We saw the U.S. retaliate and strike with a drone, a Reaper drone, which is made by a private company, and strike ISIS and kill 2 or 3 of their members. But I want to talk about some of my top defense stocks right now. Coming in at number 1, we have ticker LMT. That's Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin produces the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter, and that fighter plane is going to be a big revenue producer for the biggest defense company in the U.S., that is Lockheed Martin. They have a deal with the U.S. military for these F-35s with an acquisition price tag of over $400 billion, making it the most expensive Pentagon program ever. The stealth fighter has been called the quarterback in the Pentagon's war-fighting strategy. The F-35 is a cutting-edge fighter plane. It has a $400 billion deal with the Pentagon. This is a huge company, and we're not even trading at all-time highs, even though the market is trading at all-time highs. So we have a little bit of disconnect with the overall market, with investors looking to get into defense stocks because of what's going on in the world. Money's going to be flowing into Lockheed Martin. Some call options are looking tasty right about now, and long-term investment-wise, it's looking good right about now as well. If we look at the chart, we can see that we have this bull flag forming, and we could get a breakout if we retest and break out of this bull flag. Lockheed Martin also produces military and civilian helicopters and missile systems. We also are talking about a company that's dipping their fingers in the space industry. They are developing the Orion system for NASA. I think space has tons of growth potential as an entire sector. Lockheed Martin is a sneaky space play as well. Raytheon Technologies, ticker RTX, another defense company. We're trading up near those $93 highs, but if you look at the weekly chart, or let's go back to a monthly chart, this thing for the last several years has been trading in this range, and we're talking about a company that is a monster just like Lockheed Martin. Maybe we get a break out of that range and make new all-time highs. Raytheon develops missile defense systems. They built the Patriot missile defense system. You've all seen the videos where a missile's coming in and then the Patriot missile comes out of nowhere and blows the missile out of the sky. So it's kind of like an anti-missile system. They also produce the Tomahawk missiles, very famous missile there. And we're experiencing massive growth from cyber defense as well. what's happening in Afghanistan. Like I said earlier, I'm planning on doing a separate video, but this could embolden big countries like China and Russia. What if China invades Taiwan? What if China invades Taiwan? What do you think is going to happen? These big defense contractors like Lockheed Martin and Raytheon, they're going to have to ramp up. Money's going to come pouring into the stocks, and the stock prices are going to go up. Pretty predictable. I mean, I don't think you should invest in these companies looking for China to invade Taiwan. I'm just saying there's a lot of eyes on these companies, and when there's eyes on the companies, there's eyes on the stocks, and the stocks typically go up as more money comes into them. All right, that's going to wrap up the video. If you got something of value from it, hit that like button for me. It helps YouTube to share these videos with other stock market investors out there. I love every single one of you guys, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.